spiritual teachings add a dimension that is much more strenuous on us to be in control and to be helping to bring harmony to a situation. That's more challenging to do. It's easy to just go off and get mad and yell and scream, but it doesn't resolve anything. And in fact, can make things worse. And this is the thing to understand about spiritual teaching. It may challenge us, but it works. It definitely works. If you've heard of ahimsa, which is nonviolence, we have to try to apply nonviolence to communication. Violence in communication means things like shouting, blaming, judging, not listening. These are all violent ways to communicate. If you do those in communication, you will create more disharmony. And the most important thing is you won't be listened to, because what do you do when somebody comes at you yelling and screaming or reacting? We shut down. And communication is about being open to another person and hoping that they will be open to you. But what creates that openness is us being willing to be an example of it first, to do it first, if that makes sense. I want to go back to it for a moment when I talked about reacting, and we have a couple of ways that we can work with, because usually we know the situations that are going to create a reaction in us. In couple counseling, you hear a lot of the same issues come up that create arguments and fights, finances or whatever it is. It tends to repeat. And so we tend to know our triggers, but it's what to do about the triggers that we have to look at. And when I said there are a couple of ways we can work with it, it is important to do things on a regular basis to help yourself, like meditation, prayer. These things are going to lay a foundation where you are calmer, more centered, more balanced to begin with, before an argument even happens. So having regular habits, repeatedly, things that will help us is important. But also having suggestions and things that we can do in the moment that a fight is imminent is also important to have. And those, there's a lot of folk, I was talking with someone and, counting to 10, taking a time out. And of course, Christ said, turn the other cheek. Again, not easy to do, but very effective. And all it means is not reacting in the usual way. If somebody slaps you on the cheek, the gut reaction left to our very human nature is to slap back, but that's not the only option. If you slap back, you'll probably get another slap. Well, what do? Keep going? World War III is going to happen if you do that. Where thinking of a way to restrain yourself from reacting, counting to 10, time out, all of those things is helpful in allowing a new thing to come in. And, maybe we'll do this next time. The thing is not to do the old behavior, to try not to do the old behavior, because it doesn't work. Here we are again in the same situation, the same fight. So knowing that somewhere within us, we can find the energy to just for a moment pause from the old way of doing things and see what comes in, because you're allowing space for something new instead of the knee-jerk way that we react to whatever it is. So daily habits that we regularly practice to help to create a calmer foundation within us, and then trying to change what we usually do in this situation. You know, I think of Christ saying, turn the other cheek. And Peter, you know, Simon Peter saying, well, how many times do we turn the other cheek? Like 7? You can hear his, well, what does that mean? And Christ says 70 times 7, always turn the other cheek, infinitely turn the other cheek. But it doesn't mean there isn't something you can do. You don't keep getting slapped. It means that you're looking for other options besides slapping. And they're myriad. There's so many ways that we can respond. And knowing, think of yourself if somebody is shouting at you or insulting you or raising their voice and continuing to blame you. Think of how it feels to you. And that's exactly how it feels to another. And nobody's communicating anymore. They're just venting. You know, I want to get this out and I'm going to get it out on you. Doesn't resolve anything. Harmony comes from being willing to do that which will create it. And know that nothing in life, including you, is perfect. Nothing is absolutely perfect. It might be for a breath or two, but then it changes back. So knowing that there's something I can do, and especially if I focus on the good in whoever I'm relating to at any given time, and that there are things that I can do to manage that and make it work and create harmony in my life, in my relationships. God bless you.